Hey, living environment fans, it's time for our test. And we're using Edpuzzle again for the test. Remember, the one weird thing about Edpuzzle is that it will mix up the answer choices for you, A, B, C, D. So pay attention to what answer choice you want to make, A, B, C, or D. And some of the questions, of course, are constructive response, where you'll answer in sentences and that kind of thing. But let's get going here. Question one. What human system includes the spinal cord, medulla, and neurons? Question two. Which substances are inorganic compounds? A, water and salts. B, proteins and carbohydrates. C, enzymes and hormones. Or D, fats and oils? I told you we'd see this chart. Okay, this chart has, of course, going in columns, you have lipids, carbs, protein, and in rows, building blocks, elements, functions. The question asks the building blocks represented by letter A are A, polysaccharides, B, adenine and thymine, C, glycerol and fatty acids, or D, nucleotides. Look at that. Question number four. The same chart shows up. Same exact chart. What function does letter C represent? Letter C. A, contains the genetic code to carry on polysaccharide synthesis. B, serves as sources of energy and as components of cell structures. C, serve as organic enzymes and as components of cell structures. Or D, transfers information from the nucleus to the cytoplasm and serves as structural units. Question five. Two examples of carbohydrates are A, sugar and starches, B, amino acids and alcohol, C, fatty acids and glycerol, D, fats and waxes. Question six. What type of molecule would be produced by the linking together of many molecules of glucose? A, hemoglobin, B, fatty acid, C, amino acid, D, starch. Question seven. Which organic compound is correctly matched with the subunit that composes it? A, proteins matched with fatty acids, B, maltose matched with amino acids, C, starch matched with glucose, D, lipid matched with sucrose. In plants, question eight, in plants, simple sugars are least likely to be A, broken down into carbon dioxide and water, B, linked together to form protein, C, stored in the form of starch molecules, D, used as a source of energy. Question number nine. Sample of food containing one type of a large molecule was treated with a specific digestive enzyme. Nutrient tests performed on resulting products showed the presence of simple sugars only. Based on these tests, the original large molecules contained in the sample were molecules of A, glucose, B, protein, C, starch, D, DNA. Question 10. Which one of the following statements concerning protein is not correct? A, proteins can be broken down and used for energy. B, proteins are long, usually folded chains. C, the shape of a protein molecule determines its function. D, proteins are bonded together, resulting in simple sugars. Question 11. All cells of an organism are engaged in many different chemical reactions. This fact is best supported by the presence in each cell of thousands of different kinds of blank. A, enzymes, B, chloroplasts, C, organelles, or D, nuclei. Well, we made it one third of the way through the test. Right? Pretty good, huh? You're doing pretty well. Let's keep it going. Question 12. Diagram below represents a series of reactions that can occur in an organism. See, we have the original molecules, a biological catalyst, and then a final molecule. This diagram best illustrates the relationship between A, amino acids and glucose, B, antigens and immunity, C, ribosomes and sugars, D, enzymes and synthesis. Question 13. Which one of the following conditions is necessary for enzymes and hormones to function properly in the human body? A, body pH must be above 10. B, these chemicals must be able to replicate. C, these chemicals must have a specific shape. D, body temperature must be above 40 degrees C. Number 14. All chemical breakdown processes in cells directly involve A, reactions that are controlled by catalysts, B, the production of catalysts in vacuoles, C, enzymes that are stored in the mitochondria, or D, enzymes that have the same genetic base sequence. The diagram below illustrates a biochemical process that occurs in organisms. All right, we've got sugar with a catalyst plus water, now two simple sugars with this catalyst. The substance labeled catalyst is also known as A, an inorganic compound, B, an enzyme, C, a hormone, D, an antibody. Question 16. The diagram below represents a chemical reaction that occurs in the human body, and we have part of a starch molecule, and then molecule Z plus water makes molecule X, molecule Y, and there's molecule Z. Which one of the following statements describes a characteristic of molecule Z in the given diagram? A, molecule Z is composed of a string of molecular bases represented by A, T, G, and C. B, molecule Z will function at best at a specific pH. C, molecule Z is not specific, so this reaction can be controlled by any other chemical in the body. Or D, molecule Z will function at any temperature above 20 degrees Celsius. The diagram below represents stages in the digestion of starch. The products of the digestion of starch shown would most likely contain A, minerals, B, amino acids, C, fats, D, simple sugars. The effect of pH on a certain enzyme is shown in this graph below. See, the x-axis is pH, y-axis is rate of enzyme action. At what pH would the enzyme be most effective? A, between pH 8 and pH 10. B, below pH 5. C, between pH 5 and pH 7. Or D, above pH 10. Number 19. A certain enzyme will hydrolyze egg white, but not starch. Which one of the following statements best explains this observation? A, enzymes are specific in their actions. B, egg whites acts as a coenzyme for hydrolysis. C, starch is composed of amino acids. D, starch molecules are too large to be hydrolyzed. Question 20. Which one of the following statements is a valid conclusion based on the information in the graph below? So you got temperature on the x-axis and relative rate of enzyme activity on the y-axis. A, growth can be controlled by enzyme action. B, the maximum rate of human respiration occurs at about 57 degrees Celsius. C, temperature can influence the action of an enzyme. D, the maximum rate of human digestion occurs at about 45 degrees C. Question 21. The effect of temperature on the relative rate of action of an enzyme is represented in the graph below. Temperature on the x-axis, relative rate of enzyme action on the y-axis. Which factor most likely accounts for the change in rate of enzyme action as the temperature increases from 40 to 58 degrees C? A, not enough substrate is present at these high temperatures. B, the high temperature causes the shape of the enzyme to be altered. C, excess acids have been building up, causing the enzyme to become fatigued. Or D, too much substrate is present at these high temperatures. Question 22. The graph below illustrates the relative amounts of product formed by the action of an enzyme in a solution with a pH of 6 at 7 different temperatures. So here's the temperature, amount of product. Which one of the following statements best expresses the amount of product that would be formed at each temperature if the experiment is repeated at a pH of 4? A, the amount of product formed would be equal to that produced at pH 6. B, the amount of product formed would be less than that produced at pH 6. C, the amount of product formed will be greater than that produced at pH 6. Or the amount of product formed cannot be accurately predicted. 2/3 of the way through the test. You got this one. I tell you, you're doing great. 23. Which pH indicates a substance that is more acidic than a substance with a pH of 4? A, 6, B, 2, C, 12, D, 4. '24. In humans, most enzyme-controlled reactions have their greatest reaction rates at a pH closest to A, 1, B, 7, C, 12, D, 14. Number 25. Since salivary enzymes normally operate best at a pH close to neutral, the optimum pH range for the hydrolysis of carbohydrates in the human mouth would be A, 3 to 5, B, 4 to 6, C, 6 to 8, or D, 8 to 10. 26. During a race, the body temperature of a runner increases. The runner responds by perspiring, which lowers his body temperature. This is an example of what natural process? A, an acquired characteristic. B, environmental factors affecting phenotype. C, maintenance of homeostasis. Or D, an antigen-antibody reaction. Oh, now we have the constructed response part of our test where you're going to type in your answers, right? You want to use sentences, of course. Number 27. Food is often treated to lower the risk of disease and spoilage, as shown in the chart below. So there's 3 methods. Describe the method and an example of foods treated with. The methods are canning, freezing, and salting. State one way that extremely high temperatures can affect biological catalysts found in organisms that cause disease and spoilage in food. State one way extremely high temperatures can affect biological catalysts found in organisms that may cause disease and spoilage in food. '28. Another constructed response. The diagram below represents stages in the digestion of an organic compound. Explain why substance X would not be likely to digest a different organic compound. Explain why substance X would not be likely to digest a different organic compound. Question 29. Again, another constructed response. An investigation of the effect of temperature on the amount of protein digestion by a specific enzyme was conducted over a 24-hour period. The observations were recorded in a data table below. See, they had 5 test tubes, each one at a different temperature, and they measured the amount of protein digested. Using one or more complete sentences, state one conclusion that relates increasing temperature to protein digestion. Question 30 is a multiple choice. The effect of temperature on the action of pepsin, a protein digestion enzyme present in stomach fluid, was tested. In this investigation, 20 milliliters of stomach fluid and 10 grams of protein were placed in each of 5 test tubes. The tubes were then kept at different temperatures. After 24 hours, the contents of each tube were tested to determine the amount of protein that had been digested. The results are shown in the table below. So here's the table. The dependent variable in this investigation is A, the amount of protein digested, B, the size of the test tube, C, the amount of stomach fluid, or D, the time of digestion. Question 31. The basic building blocks of protein are A, glucose, B, fats, C, amino acids, D, hormones. 32. Before starch can enter cell, it must be A, absorbed by simple sugars, B, diffused into simple sugars, C, actively transported by simple sugars, or D, digested to form simple sugars. And finally, our last question on the test. Brothers and sisters often have similar facial characteristics, such as nose shape or eye color, because they A, use similar types of facial care products, B, have similar types of proteins, C, eat similar types of foods, D, are raised in similar environments. You did it. You did it. You finished the test. Remember, if you want to redo the test, you just have to comment, ask me to reset in the comments, and I'll reset it. And you can take it as many times as you want before the end of the quarter, which is next Friday. All right. Good job, everybody.